Welcome to The Worst with Chad Austin. I'm going to start this off real quick before I introduce my guest with a funny little story that happened to me outside while I was waiting for him. I was standing outside at the stairs waiting to come up here, and I got catcalled. But the funny thing was they didn't mean to catcall me. Right at like this, it was this old beater ass Honda and two Mexican dudes, and right at like there was a young, very pretty black girl walking up. She was walking up the stairs right next to me. Yeah, and I heard, I was looking down at my phone, so obviously when I hear somebody yell, I'm gonna look up. Like I just happen to be aware of my surroundings at all times. Like, and I just hear, "Ay, mami, caliente!" And I looked up, and the guys they locked eyes with me, and I just gave them the thumbs up, and then they took off. And that girl was on her phone. She had AirPods in. She had no idea that they were even talking to her, but they got my attention. So, shout out to those dudes.
Yeah, welcome to LA.
Yeah, but with me today, my guest is my dude Amir.
How's it going? Hi.
So Amir and I met at my old job, Lono, the job before the Pandy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fucking say names. I don't care. So basically, it was near the end too.
You know what I realized? We only met for like two or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This is a crazy thing, and I've kept up with you and Sam like for like the past couple years.
I know, and that's the wild part too, like because there are people that I knew at Lono for 2 years that I haven't said a fucking word to.
That's what like that's what I was talking about the other day. I'm just like, it's so crazy because I'm like that's what I told like an ex of mine. I was just like, I'm like, it's crazy because I'll go down to Melrose and I'll like just talk to Sam for no reason all of a sudden, or I'll like, whenever I see you, like we always go in for a hug for no reason. It feels like I've known you for 5-6 years.
It was weird, and I'll be honest, dude. When I first met you, I wasn't sure if I liked you.
I mean, I honestly didn't know your name's Chad.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
And I don't know, for some reason I was like, here, car keys. For my fucking car that I just bought. I was like,
which was wild.
Go get shit.
But also it was one of those things when I first met Amir. He came in to like stage in the back house at Lono, and he was going to be working as an expo, and then he was also supposed to start helping me with all of these batching for cocktails that I was doing and whatnot. Yeah. But
I was basically gonna take over like the labor part for you.
Yeah. But I was so set in my ways when I found out that he was coming. I was like, nah,
fuck this guy.
Nah, he's not. I was like, and one of the main reasons too, which was like, it was one of those things where it was like it could have been embarrassing as a bar manager, and unless people knew the whole story. But I never had anything I actually needed to make these big batches of shit. So I was always ghetto rigging everything.
I remember that. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would be in the back after a shift behind the bar, and I'd be putting kegs of cocktails together, and Amir would be like running up next to me with his notebook, like, "Okay, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Don't even fucking write this down."
You say that a lot.
Yeah. I was like, "Don't even write this down," because like what I'm about to do isn't even the actual drink.
Yeah.
I am freestyling everything right now. It's a Saturday night.
Free pour everything.
We are about like, $20,000 into the night already, and there's still about 4 hours left.
Like 18 quart container.
Yeah.
Basically.
And I am going to eyeball making this keg right now because this is what I do every Saturday night after I've had about a half a bottle of tequila.
No, I believe you. Yeah, that part I was like, that's when you found out that I always. Also, like I was like, cool. I'm also into.
Yeah, we too like to drink. But
yes.
that honestly, that's one thing. And I know there's a lot of people that can't really probably commiserate with me on this. But one of the main things I miss about Lono is I worked with a bunch of degenerates, and it was people that just got me.
It felt like NA for a little bit, but like NA that employed a bunch of degenerates. You know what I mean? And
it was scumbags, but in the best possible way. They were great people, but they all just got down.
Did you ever go to like the meeting, or like did you ever get like sentenced by court?
I've been okay. So the only time I've ever been to like an NA or an AA meeting was to go with a friend who had to go because of court and everything.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And he was afraid to go alone because he's a bitch. And so I was like, I've seen movies.
Yeah.
I know that these people tell amazing stories.
So I've always liked storytelling. I don't know why, but my parents. First time I ever got I got a ticket for like public intoxication when I was 14, and I blacked out. I was stupid enough to put Tylenol and every single like medication for pain, you know, quote unquote pain, inside this bottle of like a 24-ounce Arrowhead basically, and also mix every single bottle of booze that my dad had in like this cubby or this little, you know, thing in our old condo. And so I mixed all that together, and then I went to school, and so I would always hide it in my back like that because my dad would go through my backpack because he knew that I was a fucking asshole, you know, idiot. And so, you know, and so I somehow snuck that in. It was just kind of like funny because it's like, oh, this is gonna go to jail. He's already hiding shit on his ass, and his ass crack.
It's like, dude,
it's slowly slipping down, you know. Like
he already knows how to boof shit. So 14 years old.
At 14 years old, I was already in like, you know, donkeying shit, you know, through the fucking school, and I should have shared booze with like my other friends. They all wanted some, and I didn't. I drank the 24 by myself. I blacked out. I just remember waking up on the on like the bungalows on the rooftops, just swinging my feet, and then going to health class afterwards, and this teacher just being super nice to me and be like, hey, do you want to come outside like real quick? And I thought she was being super sweet. She wasn't. Cops were outside waiting for me, and I just got arrested, and then I got sent to, you know, I got home, and then, you know, and the doctor is like, you know, my dad, who's like, I'm gonna just get him a doctor and see if they can see what's in his blood thing, you know, his blood, see what's why he's intoxicated. And they didn't want to move, you know, pull anything out of me because I was moving around so much. So that's nice to know. But yeah, for a while I never told them until like a couple years ago when I turned like 23, something like that, when I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna tell you everything I did.
Dude, how old are you now?
I'm 25 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's been like 3-4 years.
That makes sense because you said 23 a couple years ago. I should have just done the math on that.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No, it makes sense.
Yeah. But dude, but the NA meetings.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was forced to go to a couple meetings to that, and the fucking bar was just literally just like, imagine like a bar that looks so real, but it's all just like orange juice, bagels, fucking apples and shit like that. And it was all garbage. Like it was just like all just microwave basically. But a bunch of biker dudes would come in and a bunch of like just tatted up, you know, dudes who would all go to this room and they would all just have coffee.
Coffee like a motherfucker, dude.
I mean, yeah. Caffeine is basically Coke.
Yeah, just stimulants like crazy.
Yes, exactly. You know, and so yeah, like they'd always go there, and the AC always sucked.
Worst, I know, because it was always like in like this really back room of a like shitty back room of a church, or you know, in like a rec center where like you
exactly
just
exactly yeah. And so like, you know, when I walked into Lono and you guys were like, your toilet's broken, I was like, meh. Yeah. I'm like honestly, with these kind of guys, I'm like, that makes sense.
Dude, I mean seriously though, like, but broken toilet never phased that bar because
rain.
Well, the rain was the worst, but essentially you would find more times than not, you would find people getting pissed that there was somebody taking shit in the drug stall rather than, you know, the other way around. Like, I mean, it was just, yeah, you'd see somebody run in there really quick and see that the stalls were taken, like, fuck.
Yeah. I did that a couple times, but like I would just watch a guest going and just come out real quick, just going like,
oh man, I mean, and it was crazy too because like there was, you know, the respectful guests that went into the bathroom to do their drugs.
Yeah.
But then there was also, I kid you not, at least once a weekend, I would stop somebody from doing it at their table.
I was always
like,
in the back of the kitchen.
Come on, man. Like, yeah. I'd be walking through from the front bar to the back and be like, yo, like, can't you just be a normal human being and go do this in the bathroom?
Funny thing is, I almost got an apartment like near you guys. It was literally like less than 5 minutes, like maybe 3 minutes walking from you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And because I was like I was crossing my fingers, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna reopen again. who knows, honestly. But I mean, like, yeah, that whole area, I walked by there like maybe a month ago, and I was like, no. Like, I don't know. But it just like, I'm like, of course, there's going to be fucking people doing drugs on, on the street or on the table, and I just think it's okay. I'm like,
No,
it's
yeah,
not fucking okay.
Yeah, Hollywood Boulevard, Friday, Saturday nights, it was just chaos. And yeah, dude, but like I remember the one of the NA meetings I went to, I was still, I went with a friend, so I wasn't trying to get help. I was having fun.
Yeah.
And I learned
just trying to make fun of.
I learned so many new ways to do drugs at those things. I remember there was one guy, because I was my drug of choice back in the day was always painkillers.
Yeah, no,
by the fucking handful painkillers.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to this old dude, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I used to take about 10 Vicodin and I would chew them up with peanuts because the oil from the peanuts made it get into your system faster. And I was like,
no,
how do you figure this shit out? How?
Well,
yeah, like
dude, I mean, like forms, man. Like, I mean, this old dude probably didn't know forms.
That's what I was thinking, is like, this guy wasn't going on the internet to research this shit. Like,
yeah,
his was trial and error.
Yeah, but like, do you imagine how many stories he had,
dude?
Like to get to that point, you know what I mean? Like, I've always thought it's amazing. Like nobody, every drug addict I've met, or every addiction, every addict that I know that like once went through it and isn't a pussy to say I'm addicted, have an addiction personality or whatever, and I'm gonna fucking say it and just let everybody know, kind of thing. They've all kind of like said, yeah, I've gone somewhere, I've done research into finding a way to get my high a little bit higher every single time. So it's like, I'm like, that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, and the thing was too, is like, I had my methods, like,
yeah,
like, you know, just like, I knew that the highest I was going to get
was like,
was right when I first woke up. So it was just like, all right, well,
empty stomach.
Yeah, exactly. I have 8 Percocet right now. Popped them all, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna feel good for a couple. No, not even a couple hours. I'm gonna feel good for an hour.
Yeah. It goes from a couple hours. Your tolerance is just...
the tolerance got crazy.
Yeah, no.
Like, when I tell people that, I was like, oh yeah, there was a point when I was up to like 30, 40 a day.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm sure it ate holes in my stomach and did all that shit too. I was like, but hey, man. That's just what I was doing.
Exactly.
And I was like, I know how fucked up it was. Like, don't give me that look. Like, I understand very well.
It's so hard to comprehend with like other people whenever they just like look at you. Like, it's like I have ADHD, so I'm prescribed Adderall or like some sort of, focus thing, which is basically synthetic, meth basically. Yeah. Which was my drug of choice back then, which my sibling brother, he's not gonna listen to this, like he showed me how to smoke, and craziest thing, like, I just felt so confident because I've always been chubby, and then I got thin, and then I got chubby again, but then it's like it's one of those things where it's like it just helps you. Fuck, what was I talking about? ADHD. So whenever, like, I had a friend who I just like, a coworker, I just split like a 20. I gave him a 20 pill. I thought that was low. He just took a 5 milligram of it, and he was like, "Yeah, that helped me focus." And I was just like, "What?" Yeah, and I'm like, I'm like prescribed 60 by my doctor, and he didn't want to raise me anymore.
Like, you took 5?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm like, that's great. Like in my head, I'm just like, pussy ass bitch. I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Dude, I mean, it's the weirdest thing to like come out on the other side of, all of this shit and just think, oh, hey, like, how the fuck did I not die? For one. I mean, honestly, straight up, there was times during where I would just tell myself, like, after all of this shit, you're invincible.
Oh no, I did some shit too. Like, there's no fucking...
Let's talk about it.
Okay, ask me.
All right, so I mean, usually I say that if I get into these questions a little too early, then you're boring. But I actually know, but judging by our text conversations,
yes,
that these questions are actually going to fuel the fire and bring out some shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just gonna start off with what's the out of all the drugs that you've tried, what's the worst one to you?
The worst one that I don't like?
Yeah.
I think benzos is probably the one I don't like.
Xanax and shit.
Xanax and the unprescribed for anxiety, but like, did I want to take it? No. I for like the first couple of months I didn't want to take it. I hated it. I hated how I felt. I just made me lazy.
Dude, yeah.
And I'm like a stimulant person. Like I just want to be like fucking, like a roadrunner all the time. So that just slowed me the fuck down.
No,
then
and I get that too, because I would say that that's my least favorite as well. And I have a couple stories about that where it was like before I realized, oh, hey, you don't like this. And I was just taking it because people would give it to me.
Yeah. Actually, no. It'd be muscle relaxers.
Muscle relaxers?
Those, yeah. Oh, that's God. Nah, yeah, you're right.
No, see, I never really minded those, because if I took one and then like drank a beer or something, that felt like you drank like 8 beers.
Oh no, I hated I hated feeling like, I don't know. It's just like, maybe I don't know. I hated not feeling out of control. Like you're feeling out of control.
Yeah.
I took I think like 40 or 60 from a guy who a friend who he went to rehab for a bit for his heroin addiction, and he just gave me like the giant ass you know, pills that they prescribed him, and I took them. And I don't remember the name, but I took them, and then I was just like prepping, and then all of a sudden my legs felt like spaghetti, and I literally was like just fucking wobbling onto the floor, and I had to go to the attic to grab booze that was out there, and I was like, "What the fuck did you give me?" Yeah, no, it was bad. I'm like, "What the fuck did you give me?" And he's like, "Do you like it?" I'm like, "No, like I fucking don't." And he's like, "Here," he's like, "Have a Red Bull." I'm just like, "This won't help." Like, I mean, I'll drink it, but I mean, like, unless you have like some super like, you know,
like, I don't need wings right now. I need legs.
I need legs. Exactly. Yeah. And so that was the worst thing, because I had to drive home that day, and I was just like, my God, I hated it.
I actually, there was one time I definitely did try to drive on muscle relaxers, and Jesus Christ,
it's the fucking worst.
I mean, I was swerving all over the road.
Yeah.
So there, the 2 times with the Xanax.
Yeah.
First time, it was me. It was so stupid too. We were probably like 18 or 19. It was me and like 3-4 of my homies, and we were at my friend's mom's trailer, and she was out of town, and we had a bunch of Xanax bars, and we're like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna snort a Xanax bar each, and then we're just gonna hang out. Dude, it was like one by one. Everybody did it, and then one by one, everyone was just slumped over and snoring, and I mean, just out like that, just gone. And the last person awake was my best friend Nolan, and he has no one around, and he's like fighting going to sleep. So he's like, he told me the next morning, he's like, bro, he's like, you all fucking bailed on me. He's like, I had to hang out with my cat. He's like, and my cat wanted nothing to do with me. And I was like, and so that's when I started thinking to myself, maybe this isn't like a party drug. This isn't fun. But yet,
you get
another time we were having a party at my friend's house. Big ass party, and there was this kid there, and he was pretty well known as a dude that just sold all kinds of everything.
Yeah.
So he was on his way to go do a pickup. His girlfriend was aged out of her mind, and he looks at me. He goes, "Hey Chad," he's like, "Watch my girl." Like she's gonna do tricks or some shit. He's like, "Watch my girl, and I'll give you 2 Xanax bars." And I was like, "All right,"
cool. Yeah,
because she's just gonna sit on the couch. She's not gonna move, dude.
Yeah.
And I was all right. So I popped one, and I'm hanging out with everybody, and like starting to feel a little loose. And then for some stupid fucking reason, I was like, you know what? It's been about 30 minutes. It's time to take the second one.
That's the problem. Yeah.
So I take the second Xanax bar, and then the last thing I remember from that night is my friend who lived in that house tucking me in on his couch, like putting a blanket over me, and he kissed me on the forehead. And then, I kid you not, about 18 hours later, I woke up at my parents' house.
Yeah.
All the like not laying on the bed normal, across the bed sideways.
Yeah.
With my shoes on, everything on.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how I got there.
But did you not feel snug though?
Oh, I felt. I mean, that was the best sleep I've ever had.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was just like,
woke
the
up.
scariest shit was I drove 45 minutes home.
Yeah.
Have no idea how I got there, but I went outside, checked the car. Like
everything was fine.
I mean, there was no hair and blood in the grill or anything. I was like, I was good, you know.
Yeah.
And no cops were looking for me. It was chill, dude.
Yeah. No, I only took Xanax. I've taken Xanax a couple times, but like every single time, I've always previous to this one event. I've always been careful. I took 2 bars from a friend also, because the first 5 minutes I didn't feel shit. So I'm like, I'm used to drugs just kicking in as soon as you start it. So I was like, fuck it. I just took the other one. My parents picked me up because at this time I'd already wrecked my second car. I know, right? Yeah, I already wrecked my second car on Percocets because I was going to see a lady of the night.
Yeah.
and so I already wrecked my second car, and so at this point they picked me up. Apparently, I got home. On the drive there, I passed out. I just blacked out, just completely. And so the next morning I woke up super cozy in my bed. I was like, I felt fuzzy, and I'm like, this is nice. And I was like, what happened last night? And they're like, well, we picked you up. We came home. We parked in the back. We tried to wake you up. You got up and you dropped the trash bins from like on my walking home. Like there are these the trash bins like in the recycle
yeah.
I just knocked them the fuck down.
Just left a trail of
yes. And they're literally lined up. And so then I walked to like the door. My parents, my dad was like, this guy's fucked up. And so they opened the door, and my at this time, my brother was sleeping on the couch because he had just like, I think he just broke up with his lady or something like that. So I threw myself on the fucking couch, literally on top of him. And I weigh more than him. So I just fucking pop. And so they're like, we had to grab you and just fucking put you to your room. And I woke up with my clothes on. And I was like, honestly, that's the best sleep I've ever had. It was the first night.
Pretty incredible.
Every fucking drug you take, it's like the first night. It's always like you're always chasing your high after that.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's when I realized I'm like, yeah,
I think with like pain pills though, it was like the second or third time, because the first time I'm pretty sure I just like I took a couple and then I puked. You know, it's just like, oh, not used to this.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man. So I was also gonna ask, do you have, and I mean I know you do, but I'm just gonna prompt you.
Yeah.
Like I want like a wild night out, like when you were in the height of it. Like give me one, give me a couple.
I think I told you some of this one.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you the complete story.
Please go.
All right, so I was 20. I was 20. Okay, you know what? I was an undisclosed age. 20. It's fine, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter.
Whatever the statute of limitation is, that's how old he was.
Yeah, that's how old I was. And I just got into working, prepping, and all that stuff. And so I was making enough money to the point where I could start affording like a shit ton of like $90 worth of Molly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was pure Molly. And so I was 21 actually. No, I must have been 21 cuz so I think it's so I 21, first Friday off in the whole fucking week. I mean the whole like couple months that I've been working. And so I got into my car and I just went looking up, like Googling bars, and I started going for like rye whiskey's always been like my favorite.
Okay.
It's always been the one that always blocks me out first out of all these. So I went into like each of these bars, and I would always ask for Bullet Rye. For some reason, you're fucking naive and stupid.
Yeah.
So I thought that Bullet Rye was like the top shit, and so I would always go.
I thought it was just because you hated gay people.
No. Apparently
I'm joking.
Apparently I didn't. More later. So I took, I would have like 5 whiskeys, all the way to get up to the part where I was like around this area. And so then I Googled like, after that, I went to the bathroom, I crushed up the Molly. I snorted it. And it's funny because like every time we snort things, like, it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you do it anyways. Like it just burns your eyes, and you shouldn't snort salt anyways. So I snorted it, and I was like, now I'm fucking in the mood, and I'm also drunk as fuck, and I thought that was fine. It wasn't. So then I did that, and then I looked up clubs, and I took 2 whiskeys at a club that I found, which at the time was Rage.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that Rage would be the bar that was. I didn't know, for some reason I was stupid enough that I'm from the Valley. I'm from San Fernando Valley, so
okay.
I grew up in the Valley, and so I'm very naive when it comes to West Hollywood. And so I didn't know that West Hollywood would be like the gay center of like of LA.
Okay.
So I go in there and I start taking a bunch of Molly, and I start, drinking a bunch of whiskeys, and then I just like 5 whiskeys in, I just blacked the fuck out, and I've already been like through like a milligram of MDMA. I think it was a little more, maybe. I don't know how much $90 worth is anymore. It was enough. It was enough. And so yeah, I thought I was dancing with this chick. And she was inviting me to dance. Like, this is like patches of memory. And so it was black. Then I was invited by these 2 girls who were making out to dance with them. I guess I must have danced really fucked up because I've never been really able to dance. So I just remember just fucking moving my arms like a zombie kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just like fucking really. Fucking oh, I wish, right? I fucking wish. But it was just me in the fucking corner, just like saying like a blob. And so then she pushed me away. And then I blacked out again. And it wasn't until like 3 a.m. that I remember some dude was like basically like walking me somewhere. I don't know where the fuck he was walking me to. And then we walked to this house, but this time I'm just like finally like getting out of my fucking fog or whatever.
The haze is lifted.
Yeah, the haze is slightly lifted, exactly. But I'm just like, I'm still saying yes to everything. And so and so then he's like, so there's my room in this house in West Hollywood, which I honestly don't remember. I've never seen a home in West Hollywood, but whatever. Like, they're all
it's like, that's the thing about like West Hollywood and like Hollywood proper is like you see just apartment, but
exactly.
Then there's just like these random back streets that have these beautiful homes on them.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I've honestly gone back to look for a house like that, and I haven't been able to find it. So I don't know where the fuck I was, but I somehow managed to be there. And he's like, yeah, so there's the house. I live up there with my roommate. He's like, we can't go up there because the lights are on. So he's there. He was like, do you mind if I just blow you here? And and I was straight. I'm straight still. But at that time I was like bi-curious, I guess, because you take enough drugs, anything fucking goes. I mean, to me, I don't know.
my grandpa always said a mouse if no one's watching. So
no, and I'm sure, and he's right. Like, like he's fucking right. As long as you don't feel like the 5 a.m. shit.
Wait, was this just in the street, or were you in like the
driveway?
Driveway. Okay.
I was in the driveway, and
so if this was in the street, it would have been fucking wild.
I was in the driveway, but it was like on a residential street.
Yeah.
Anybody just driving by would have seen me just standing there, like getting blown
with
by
your
this
dick out.
With my dick out, getting blown by a guy. And I was like trying to get into the mood, and then I was like, no, this isn't working. I got up. I'm like, this is fucking working, whatever. And so then I just I'm like, sorry guy. I'm like, this is fucking working. I think I want to go home. He's like, okay, that's fine. And he just like went, and I left. I stood under some apartment complex or a hotel. I don't fucking know how. At this time, I had my same iPhone. It's an iPhone 5, which I had up until last year.
Okay.
So it was, I had to change it twice, but like the battery was kind of messed up. And so it would just go from like 5% to 1. And so I somehow just managed to charge up my phone. It was dead this whole time. I managed to get it up to battery, and I called an Uber. And it came. It was an Uber pool because I couldn't afford it at the time. And so I got the guy to come in. I mean, like to pick me up somehow, like at 6 a.m. And my shift starting prepping on Sunday. It's Saturday night, so on Sunday, it was like around like 7 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's perfect. You had enough time to.
I had enough time. So he picked me up, and I'm like, I don't know where my car is. It's around this area. Do you mind if we just go around driving a couple of streets? And I'm just gonna like honk, like panic my car.
That's how you know you had a good night. It's just like, hey, can you just drive in circles in this neighborhood, this general region?
He said okay, which I was like, okay. I'm like, now thinking back, I'm like, he should have just said fuck no and just left. But he said okay, and I was like, boop 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 boop, and I found it finally. It was around like the around like I feel. For some reason, I feel like it was like the Comedy Store.
Oh, okay.
And so that's where it was. And I drove to work the next day, and I was there. And at that time, I just like told them that it was a party. It was a heavy night. because they were like, you look like shit. Like, what's going on? I'm like, I just got blown by this chick. I'm just like, insecure about my feelings.
I don't know how to feel.
Exactly. And this one guy, fucking douchebag. He's an ambassador, but I'm sure you know him.
I probably do.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you say a douchebag and an ambassador, I can name 10, but
that's why I said douchebag ambassador. So I talked to him and I told him he's like I think I'm like addicted to, he's like I'm addicted to sex, and in my head I'm just like, yeah, no fucking idea. Like you should be fucking proud of yourself that you're addicted to fucking sex and just that, you know what I mean? Because I'm my head I'm just like the things I did and I would do for fucking anything to feel something, like.
It's like, make my brain feel normal.
I know. And so I kind of told him my story, but he's like, no, I didn't do that. He's like, I went up to this girl and I cheated on my lady. I'm like, okay. Well, that's not.
I was like, all right, that's fucking tame, guy.
Yeah.
You're over here like Bob Saget and Half Baked. You ever suck some dick for some coke? and he was like, well, there's this girl. And
yeah. And he's like, I just don't know how to tell him no. And I'm just like, mazel tov, motherfucker. Yeah, hats off to you, fucking douche.
Dude, what nationality are you?
Right, so my dad's Israeli and my mom is Hispanic.
Oh, okay.
Hence I'm brown. So yeah, my dad's like a Holocaust survivor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, came from my grandfather came from Auschwitz, married a lady in Mexico. They had him. I guess I'm like Mexican. I don't fucking know. I'm Mexican. I don't know. For some reason, like he just always like grew up like whatever. So yeah, he came to Mexico and then he met my mom, my dad, met my mom, and they had me in the U.S. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
dude. Because I was like, dude, I'm not sure. I was like, but I think
nobody
maybe,
does.
I was like, maybe Amir has like a little bit of Asian in him, and I was like, bro, in my head on the way here, I was like, you're newly single. I was like, we could go out and get you so much ass by just using the whole Stop Asian Hate thing in your benefit.
I haven't thought about that actually.
You could you could really tally up numbers.
Do you know what I've been doing this whole time?
What have you been doing?
I've just been home, just like I can't even jack off because I'm on antidepressants, so I'm not even fucking. Do you know what I mean though? I'm watching porn, but I'm just like I'm not in the fucking mood for it. It's like I'm just watching HBO. That's all I've been doing. With my 2 cats.
Yeah. Dude, what are your cats' names?
Pomegranate and hazelnut.
Pomegranate and hazelnut. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I've always gone for using the human names for animals.
Oh, so for me, no. After my 2 dogs died, my detox, my family's always been like, my dad has always been like a animal lover. Mm-hmm. So we've grown up with literally every single animal. And so I would always go for jogs when I was a kid at night. And you find the most fucking craziest things at night. I found a pigeon with one eye. Sorry, dove with what dove? Yeah. Apparently, I always say the soap brand, and
I mean, isn't this Dove the soap and Dove the bird the same thing? It's spelled the same.
I've been corrected 3 times, dude. Like,
well, whoever corrected you is an asshole. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same thing.
Well, then my ex is an asshole, so I mean,
fuck that shit.
And so I picked one eye. It was a one-eyed dove, and like his wing was all fucked up. And then gordonis, which is, I don't know what it's called in Spanish. I think it's called it's like those brown little birds. They're also kind of a dove? No. Quail.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know why we're getting so deep into birds right now.
Yeah, so basically I picked up like these 2 birds, a turtle, a fucking snake. I've had just about every animal you can think of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My mom just rescued every cat. Even if they didn't need rescuing, like I swear to God, dude, like
driving by, just open the doors.
I mean, back in the day, like people didn't really put collars on their cats.
No,
so and cats do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. So they'll just roam around the streets and whatnot. And my mom will be driving. She's like, "Oh, that's a stray," and I'm like, "No, that's not a stray. I see that cat. I see that cat hanging out that neighbor like 3 doors down all the time. Like I think it's their cat."
Yeah.
She's all right.
It's
If it's outside again tomorrow, it's a stray. And I'm like, that's not how this works, Ma. It's not how this works. Dude, there was a time when I think like the highest number was we had 13 cats.
Oh wow. We had like about 10 pets. I mean, but it was different animals. It was goldfish. It was and so we always had condos or apartments, and then at like our last home, like my parents finally they bought a home for themselves. So my dad decided to wake us all up on the weekend and dig a fucking hole. So we just dug a hole, built the pond, and we had just goldfish and koi's, turtles, and then we had like 2 frogs. Oh God, I don't know how many fish we had, to be honest. I don't know.
It's fine, dude.
Chickens, like I don't know fucking how many, but he would have to wake up early in the morning to feed them, and it would take him like 3 hours. So it'd be like from like birds to like chickens. I mean, they're all fucking the same shit.
Yeah.
Dogs, cats, turtle, which he ran away. Can you believe the fucking turtle ran away?
That's
of
pretty.
all the
That's pretty
of all
amazing.
the fucking things.
Dude, I hated having fish, and my daughter had a couple fish as she was growing up.
Yeah.
But the thing is about giving a kid an animal is you're not giving a kid an animal, you're giving a kid something to look at, and then there's a new thing for you to fucking take care of.
Oh yeah.
Like right now, she had to have a turtle. We were in Chinatown and they had like these tiny little baby turtles in like that much water, and I made a joke to my wife. I was like, if no one buys them, they're going to get eaten. And
oh God.
And Josie heard me and she's like, Dad, we have to buy these turtles. I was like, oh shit. So finally she ends up talking me into it, and I buy her 2 turtles. One of them was already half dead, so within a week it was dead.
What the fuck do you mean I'm dead,
dude? You could just tell like it hardly moved.
Foggy eyes.
Yeah, dude, I mean it just looked like it was sick, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be fantastic.
Oh
so
my God.
within a week that turtle fucking died. But now for the past like year and a half, I've been taking care of this turtle, which is now massive, but like. Prior to this, I had bought her fish. She had goldfish, and she had a beta fish that she named SpongeBob.
Yeah.
She named the turtle Narwhal. I mean, the kid's wild. But
I mean, that comes from you.
Yeah, dude. There's so much of her personality that comes from me, and I try to get mad at her. Oh fuck, dude. Because
my dad fucking hates me because I'm like him.
Yeah,
like, do you understand? Like, it's weird.
No, because it's aggravating. Because I know that I have a personality that not a lot of people are fans of.
Exactly.
I say things
shouldn't say
that I shouldn't say constantly.
Hence.
And I mean, I got in trouble like my first 2 weeks working at Lono for like they're like, oh, we have this thing called Group Me, which is a chat with everybody that works here. So somebody would say something stupid, and then I would fire off an insult like in the whole group, and then they'd have to pull me aside and be like, you can't fucking do that. And I'm like. I can see why. I can see why. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna turn off notifications.
Yes. Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. Like, occasionally I would open it up and there would be like 40 messages and whatnot. But I was just like, I'm gonna turn off notifications because if I have to see these things,
I'm gonna just like whiplash.
Half the time I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
Which is bad. I do have impulse control problems. But yeah, dude, I murdered her fish. I got so tired of taking care of them that like I starved one of them.
But I mean, it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to do it to like teach them a lesson. Does that make sense? Like, is that why you did it, or you just did it because
no? I was over it. I was fucking over it. I was like, I don't want to take care of these fucking fish.
All right, so that's on you.
Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying with like, oh, you know, hey, your fish died because you aren't responsible.
Exactly.
But no, it was just like.
No.
That has had it with these fucking fish, dude. Because the beta was mean.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. That beta fish would every time I try to feed it, it would try to like jump up and attack me.
Interesting.
I wanted to sock that fish in the fucking face. Swear to God.
Cutting board. Like a meat softener, just.
I thought about it, but the beta was the one I actually starved.
My dad fucking tried. My dad told my mom at one time, he's like, I'll eat the goldfish, because one time I died. And my mom was just fed up with like fucking taking care of his goldfish. He had way too many fish at one time. So she cooked up a goldfish that had died, and she's like, here. She literally fucking put it in front of him. She's like, fucking eat it. And he didn't eat it. I don't remember him eating it.
My dad has a story about like going to a or had a story because he did. But
Yeah.
but my dad had a story about going to like a carnival or whatever when he was in high school, and like, he ran into a girl that he knew, and she had just like won a fish, and he was like, "Oh, let me see it," and then he opened up the bag and took it and swallowed it.
Did he fucking swallow it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like without hesitation, he's like, "Oh, cool, you got a fish." Just, and then did you just? He's like, "Yeah, sorry about your fish."
I love the fact that he's like, "Fuck me getting laid. I'm just gonna fucking swallow your fish."
Dude, yeah, I mean, like, and I know I get some of my personality from him. And that was like the whole reason. He was the whole reason I started comedy. Was, I mean, I went through life and really just not like knowing that I liked to write jokes, and I want, for the longest time I wanted to write screenplays and do this. And when I was 19, 20, I thought I was like, I was just a total fucking emo bitch. And I was like, I'm going to write dramas. I'm going to write love stories. But anytime I would start writing, there would always be just like these really just off-colored jokes in there that would just make me giggle the whole time. I was like, I'm fairly decent as a joke writer, I feel.
Yeah.
And then I like put it off to the side for a little while, and I thought I was a fucking DJ, and I thought I was this, but it was always just because I was too scared to actually go.
That's very similar. We had really
similar. But like I was too scared to actually go do it.
Yeah.
Like the idea of putting myself out there on a stage alone, and just hoping like, oh God, like that I'm just.
There's something about being a bartender, or just being behind the bar. First of all, you're with people that's intoxicated. But just like the idea of just like being, for me at least, like I was into like being an audiophile. I went to school for it. I was trying to be a producer. Then before that, I was trying to be a comedian, stand-up comedian, and my jokes fucking sucked. I read them on a piece of paper, and I was like, this is terrible. But being on a stage or being like an attention whore, I always wanted to be an attention whore. That being said, I'm an introvert, so I also don't want the attention.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm right there with you.
Exactly,
and it's just like I was like, I want you to laugh at my jokes, but don't look at me because I'm fat.
Exactly, I want you to like me, but don't fucking don't fucking talk to me or look at me or just imagine me as some character, because I'm gonna just like jump out of the back door as soon as I possibly can. Basically.
Oh, dude, I am so good at an Irish goodbye. It's not even funny. Like.
I'm known for that.
I mean, everybody's like, "Hey, what happened to you last night?" I was like, "Oh, well, I decided I wanted to leave, so I fucking left."
Yeah, no.
You didn't even say goodbye?
No.
Why?
No.
Why am I gonna like trounce through a room full of people and just go, "Hey,
goodbye,
good to see you."
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
hey, good to see you. No, dude,
off,
like,
man.
there's a room full of people. The door's right there.
Yeah, my energy's up.
I'm just going to the door.
Exactly.
And and you guys will see me again.
That dinner that I told you about, or that lunch that I had with like coworkers. I got up. I told the four people that were there. I'm gonna get 5 shots of tequila, and then I'm gonna go talk to her or whoever is gonna order our shots. And that's it. And I told the girl, like the person taking our orders, I'm gonna get like my part of whatever the hell we're sharing. And I'm also gonna get the tequila, and I want to just like fucking get out of here, because like that's all I want. Like I don't want to fucking say goodbye. I just want to get the fuck out of here. Like I don't, but I also want to make sure I pay my.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
You remain respectable. You just
want to leave.
There's just no point in doing the elongated goodbye, and I don't understand why people spend so much time doing that. It's pointless. Like
if I like you, I will text you afterwards and be like, "Hey man, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah,
we'll fucking
I had fun. Let's do it again."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I hate it.
I fucking hate it.
What's one of the worst decisions you've ever made while intoxicated, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or drugs and alcohol, but like something that comes to your mind right now, just a really bad decision.
Well, okay, so one had a good outcome to it, the other one didn't, but I guess I don't know. I'll tell both.
Let's do it.
All right, so the one was for some reason, whenever I was doing drugs, I would always want to fuck. And so that makes sense.
Oh,
right?
For some reason?
Yeah, for some reason, right?
Okay.
Stimulants just made me want
Weird.
to fuck. Weird.
Weird.
And nobody wants to fuck a drug addict, to be honest. Like, I mean, at least
except for other drug addicts.
Other drug addicts, exactly. But like, once everybody knows, even the drug addicts are like, Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be. I don't want to be like like on his corner of the room, exactly. And so I would just like kind of go on. This is back when Craigslist was cool.
It's like, are we going back to your mattress on the floor or mine?
Yeah, exactly. And so I met this chick. Her last name was Rose, and well, I don't know if she made it up. I don't fucking know at this point. Whatever, it doesn't matter. She was
the lady from the Titanic.
She was lady from the Titanic. And so she was telling me how she got this gig. I met her at night, and she was telling me I never paid her, actually, by the way.
Oh, so she was a toot.
She was I guess. I don't know what that means.
Prostitute.
Sure. Oh, prostitute. That's
Toot.
cute. That's cute. I wish I would have told her
It's
that.
colorful stories. I mean, we call them lot lizards too, but you didn't pick her up at a truck stop, so.
Lot lizard sounds fucking nasty. She was really dope, and so she had been a groupie for this DJ. I'm sure you guys know him or don't know him. Hardwell.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, Hardwell and a bunch of those big main house main house EDM sort of guys, and so she was again, fucking West Hollywood of all places. She was there, and she was telling me how she had somebody to meet up in West Hills, which is like a suburban area, and this guy wanted her to be like the manager of his home, which was weird. I mean, at this point, a drug addict telling you that, it's just like okay, exactly. I'm just like, and so like he wanted her to be like his mistress, managing his home, but like he would just come home and just fuck her every single time he wanted to. And I'm like, that sounds fine, cool. Like, we'll do fucking blow and meth right now. We'll do that right now. And so that's when I got like introduced like to the syringe and all that shit.
Oh,
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, fun. Until I saw her pug, and I was like, not fun. I'm like, I gotta feed your pug. I'm sorry. I saw her goddamn fridge too. It was fucking empty. I was like, this is not fun. And so I fed her pug. Oh my God, I got 3 stories now. Oh shit. And so I fed her pug, and then we went to go meet this guy in like a fucking like a bank. There was this bus stop outside this bank, and so he was there, and I was in the car. And then I was basically pimping her out for like the next like 2 weeks, basically.
Oh,
which was weird because I wasn't really going for that. I was just literally just in my head. I'm just like, I'm getting high with this chick, and I'm just dropping her off wherever she wants, and I'm getting free sex for it.
Have you seen that Will Ferrell movie, The Other Guys, where he like in his past life was a pimp?
So I saw that scene, kind of.
But he didn't like realize he was a pimp until he was actually in the pimp game.
I fucking hate how so I was just literally right now I was watching Get Hard tonight,
yeah. That fucking movie is ridiculous.
And the amount of dick jokes, I was like, that's fucking phenomenal. Like, it's perfect. But like, yes, no, exactly. The other guys, that's literally what I walked into. Like, I grew up in pretty shitty neighborhoods, but for some reason my parents always tried to make sure that I would always like grow up right, and then I fucked it up for them. and so I ended up driving this girl around for 2 weeks, and then like one time I dropped her off in a bank, like at Bank of America, and I was just like, I just snapped out of it. I was like, this is not okay. Well, this is not kosher. Like the fuck am I doing?
Am I a pimp?
Yeah, no, like that's what it felt like, and I'm just like, she now works like some castle. I don't fucking know where. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, so
the Magic Castle?
I don't know if it was that it. I may be. I don't know. Wink, wink. I guess I'm fucking doing the fuck do I know. But yeah, I think she said castle, and so they have a dungeon room there, and she was gonna be like the I don't know what you call them, like the mother or like the mistress or like the one who's in charge of all.
I think it's like mistress.
There's one in charge of all the toots, exactly.
Mistress Veronica.
Yeah, it's Mistress Rose.
Mistress Rose.
Yeah, I know, right? And so she was tiny and she had giant tits and whatever. I didn't know I was into tits until back then. I realized I was like, I'm into tits.
Like, it just takes one.
It just and so she was there, and so like that was the story, and I just like after that I dropped her off, and I never really answered another phone text afterwards because I was like, this isn't right. The other one was the one I think I texted you one time. There was a guy in Chatsworth who was a real estate agent.
Okay.
He offered me like $40 for like cocaine. And I was like, cool, I'll do it. And so I went over there, And then I realized that it was like he was asking to blow like he's like, I'll blow you for like $40. And I was like,
Oh, so he wanted to.
he wanted to pay me for that, and
then also service you at the same time.
Yeah, like I told him, I'm like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm like, I'm looking for coke. I'm looking for blow, and he's like, okay, well, he was Asian. I don't know if it doesn't matter. And he's like, I just want to like fucking blow you and let's go. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I have the money, so I got it. And so I went into this house that he was selling, and he blew me right there, and I just took the money, and I was like, cool. Cool. Go get blow.
And then you
Exactly.
got blown to get blow.
I got blown to get blown. Exactly.
Dude, you got paid to get your dick sucked.
Yeah. Teeth hurt, man. Fucking teeth hurt, dog. Like, it's like, like you hear like fucking movies and stories of like, you know, like, oh, fucking braces and shit. No, the fucking teeth hurt.
Dude. So one of my probably worst decisions while intoxicated was I was hanging out at my boy's house, and I was, you know, a bunch of pills and some beers and whatnot, and I was talking to this girl on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, she was a local girl,
Yeah.
and I've always just found black girls to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so it was the first one that ever showed interest in me, like big white guy, and I was like, oh hell yeah! So we're talking, and I know that she's married.
Yeah.
And
Same.
and I know that her husband is overseas fighting the good fight in our U.S. military.
Yeah.
And so we're talking and whatnot, and it's like probably 1 a.m, and she calls me and she goes, hey, I'm drunk at the club. Can you come get me? And I'm like, oh,
yeah. No. Yes.
So I was like,
dude.
oh, and I looked at my boy, and he just looks at me because I had her on speakerphone. And he goes, go. He's like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I kind of know her husband. He's like,
kinda. Seas for you.
He's like, kinda. He's like, just fucking. So, finished my beer as one does, and I go over and I pick her up, and then we go back to her place, and she had a small child at the time that was staying with her husband's parents, and dude, and then we fucked all night long, and then the next morning she was just like, I was like, don't even worry about it. I was like, I'll take you to go get your car. And she's like, you know, I'm still kind of fucked up. Can you just take me to go pick up my kid? So it was just like, basically it was like one of those, hey, park like halfway down the street.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to run into the house and tell them, you know, whatever story that she made up.
Yeah.
And then she comes out with the kid, and I'm just like, I'm driving her and her kid back to now the club, which was in one of the hotels, because there's a lot of that back in Palm Springs.
Did you say hi? Like, what did you say?
Yeah, dude, I was making conversation with the little kid. I was just like, hey, did you have fun at your grandparents' house?
Yeah.
And she's looking at me like, who's this fucking stranger? But it's, you know, 2 years old, and in my head I'm like, don't you fucking snitch on me, you little shit.
No, I had a story like that in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Fucking Tinder.
I mean, just Bakersfield in general.
Jesus. Yeah. I was young and stupid. I'm still young, but I guess I'm still stupid. So I went to Bakersfield, drove like 90 miles over there to fuck some chick who was 42, twice my age. And the next morning she's like, I'm gonna go pick up my kid from my separated husband. She didn't say divorced. She was like separated. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, but I kind of want to get to know you better. And so we did that. Like, so we went to fucking some fast food. I think it was fucking, what's that other Subway? The other one?
Like what? Like Togo's or some shit?
Some shit. Yeah.
Blimpies?
Some shit like that.
One of these fast food sandwich places?
Some fucking
you went and hung out with her and her kid?
No, just her.
Just her. Oh,
just
okay.
her. And then we hung out with her kid the next week.
Oh.
And she wanted to get more serious. And I was like, I don't know. Like the only reason I didn't like her was because while we were having sex, like the third, fourth time, she wanted me to, like, you know, get in the back door with her, and her fucking kitten at the time jumped onto the bed, and she like went, go away, and like knocked them off, and I just took that as like an insult.
Just like, after all that, like even in like the heat of the moment, you're just like,
fuck that. No,
you fucking did that to your cat.
do you know what I mean though? Like I was just pissed. I was just like, I'm like, I don't even want to fuck you in the ass anymore. Like what the fuck? like what the fuck? Like why'd you smack your cat or your kid off the bed?
So how dare you?
No, yeah, I'm like, close the fucking door if you don't want it, like him or her to come inside. You know, so then I never talked to her again because of that. And like this small little fucking details like always get me.
Dude,
But
I mean you are one of the I mean the people at PETA would hold you in high regard right now.
Thank you.
All right. So I mean, this has been great. I mean, we have a few more minutes left. If you have anything else that you want to throw out there right now.
I don't know. I guess I'm single. I don't fucking know.
Amir's single.
Single.
Have you've gotten one vaccine, right?
I've gotten one vaccine. I'm gonna get like in a week or two.
So yeah. So next vaccine round, and then bars are reopening, and we're gonna go out. I'm gonna be your wingman.
Thank you.
Because I'm not out there looking for anything. So it's just gonna be all for Amir.
I have 2 kittens, and I got an apartment, all for me. So now, you know.
Yeah, he's a responsible adult now.
Yeah.
Who's he's for the most part both of those things, responsible and an adult.
Yeah.
But when you add him up, he is one.
Yes.
But I mean, dude. I mean, we could have gone on with more stories for a while, but I just don't want to cut you off in the middle.
No, I get it. No, like honestly, we can, and if you want to, we will. If you want to, but I mean, yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, is there anything else that you want to say to anybody before we take off for the day?
I don't know. Have a good fucking. Please get vaccinated. I don't know. To get the fucking vaccine if you want to, I guess. Or I don't know.
I mean, that was the most half-hearted bullshit. Get the vaccine if you want to, I guess. I mean, I got both vaccines, and my cell phone reception is so good now. I got that 5G running through my fucking veins.
I fucking hate it. You know what I mean, though? It's like okay, we're trying. It's like the public's trying as much as hard as they can to, like, you know, make you feel better in every possible way, and we're over here fucking being bitches about it. Like, I don't want 5Gs. I don't want the fucking vaccine. I don't want all these crap things.
I mean,
a coworker of mine's like that. You know what I mean?
really, really was hoping for like the whole like X chromosome gene mutation, and I become an X-Men like I wanted to my entire fucking life.
No, me too. Yeah, but that's I don't know.
But you know, it's just like it's a shot, and it's not that big of a fucking deal, and
yeah.
And soon we're all going to be able to get together and cough in each other's faces and have orgies.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I've
been wanting to blow spit in
share drinks, share straws,
share dicks and everything else. It's a killer. I'm straight, by the way, but I mean, that being said. I have $20 is $20 at the time.
And the time is now. But yeah, dude. So this has been The Worst with Chad and Amir, and this has been a really fun one. Thank you, Amir.
Awesome.
I really appreciate you coming, man.
I'm happy to be here, and I will tell you more fucked up stories whenever you want.
Yeah, dude. We'll schedule another one because I know we both have plenty more of stories to go.
Yeah.
But yeah. All of that shit, the subscribing and the liking and, what do the kids say? Smash that button.
Oh, God.
Smash that shit, son.
Smash Chad.
Smash me. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
We out.